What would you do if the dream you'd fought for was ripped away in an instant? Dr. Amara Cole stood at the edge of the tarmac, her heart pounding, staring at the private jet she'd chartered for a critical medical conference. The sleek aircraft gleamed under the fading light, a symbol of her hard-earned success. Amara, a renowned neurosurgeon, had spent years breaking barriers as a black woman in a field dominated by others. Today, she was headed to deliver a keynote speech that could redefine brain surgery techniques. But as she approached the jet, a man in a pilot's uniform blocked her path, his voice cold and dismissive. "You're not on the manifest," he said, barely glancing at her. "This isn't your plane." Amara's breath caught. She'd triple-checked the booking, paid in full, and even spoken to the charter company that morning. "There's a mistake," she said, her voice steady despite the heat rising in her chest. She pulled out her phone, showing the confirmation email. The pilot, Captain Reynolds, barely looked at it. His eyes flicked over her tailored suit, her confident stance, and his lips curled into a faint smirk. "Ma'am, you need to leave. This jet's for someone else." The small crowd of ground crew watched in uneasy silence. Amara's assistant, Lisa, a young woman with a clipboard clutched to her chest, stepped forward. "Sir, I have the contract right here. Dr. Cole chartered this jet weeks ago." Reynolds waved her off, his tone sharper now. "I don't care what you have. I know who's supposed to be on this flight, and it's not her." Amara's hands trembled, not from fear, but from rage. She'd faced skepticism before countless times, in fact. The professors who doubted her in medical school, the colleagues who questioned her expertise, the patients who hesitated when they saw her face. But this was different. This was her jet, her moment, and she wasn't about to let it slip away. As the argument escalated, a new figure emerged from the terminal, a man in a crisp suit, his face pale and apologetic. He introduced himself as Mr. Daniels, the charter company's regional manager. "Dr. Cole, I'm so sorry," he said, his voice low. "There's been a misunderstanding." Amara's eyes narrowed. "A misunderstanding?" she repeated, her voice cutting through the evening air. Daniels hesitated, then turned to Reynolds. "Captain, may I speak with you privately?" The pilot's smirk faded. He followed Daniels a few steps away, their voices hushed but tense. Amara caught fragments, "VIP client reassigned mistake," and her stomach twisted. Lisa, still clutching her clipboard, leaned in. "Dr. Cole, I just got a text from the office. They tried to bump you for some politician's last-minute booking." I think Reynolds knew. The twist hit Amara like a shockwave. This wasn't just a clerical error. Someone had deliberately tried to take her place, and Reynolds was complicit. Her mind raced. She'd spent her life proving she belonged, proving her intellect, her skill, her right to be in spaces others assumed she didn't fit. Now, someone thought they could erase her with a phone call and a signature. Daniels returned, his face grim. "Dr. Cole, you're cleared to board. Captain Reynolds will not be flying this jet." Amara blinked, caught off guard. "What?" she asked. Daniels lowered his voice. "We reviewed the logs. The reassignment was unauthorized, and the captain made assumptions he shouldn't have. He's been removed from duty, effective immediately." The ground crew shifted uncomfortably as Reynolds stormed off, his face red with fury. Amara stood frozen, processing the weight of it all. She'd won, but the victory felt hollow. The truth had come out, yes, but at what cost? The sting of being dismissed, of being judged before she could even speak, lingered like a bruise. As she boarded the jet, Lisa trailing behind her, a new figure appeared, a young ground crew worker named Jamal, who'd been watching silently from the sidelines. He approached cautiously, holding out a small notebook. "Dr. Cole, I heard about your work," he said, his voice soft but earnest. "My mom had a brain tumor last year. She's alive because of surgeons like you. I just wanted to say, don't let this stop you." Amara's throat tightened. She took the notebook, where Jamal had scribbled a clumsy but heartfelt note. "Keep saving lives." She looked at him, a young black man in a reflective vest, his eyes bright with admiration. In that moment, the weight of the day shifted. This wasn't just about her. It was about everyone who'd ever been told they didn't belong, everyone fighting for a seat at the table. She boarded the jet, her resolve hardening. The conference was waiting, and so were countless patients who needed her expertise. The pilot's dismissal was justice, but it wasn't the end of her fight. It was a reminder. Every step forward mattered, not just for her, but for those who'd come after. As the jet's engines roared to life, Amara leaned back in her seat, Jamal's note still in her hand. She'd face more battles, more skepticism, more barriers, but she'd keep going. Not just for herself, but for every life she could save, every door she could open. The sky stretched out before her, vast and unbroken. Yindi,